Hey guys, welcome back to another Flesh and Blood video. This video is proudly brought to you by the House of Cards, the official sponsor of my stream. Be sure to check out the link in the description below for all of your Flesh and Blood needs. So Bravo and Lexi is a very interesting matchup. Bravo is probably one of my favorite heroes in the format right now, and Lexi's probably the best hero in the format right now. So I've played it from both sides now, and honestly, I kind of felt like it was pretty 50-50 for a while after playing it from the Bravo side, but now that I've played it from both sides, and I've seen it from the Lexi point of view, it honestly feels Lexi favored. Like, this game is a good example of why Bravo can stay in the game and how it kind of like hangs around and like grinds you out over time. But I just think Lexi is just too powerful, and I think she has too many powerful cards and too many good arrows. Like Codex of Frailty is just an insanely powerful card, and you have Artivore and Rain Razors to pair with 3 of a kinds for insanely dumb turns. So I just think Lexi's in too good a spot right now. This game also highlights me learning Lexi and making you hear me talk about some of the mistakes that I had and some of my thought processes, and then I talk about what I should have done afterwards during this match. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys, and I hope you enjoy the video. So this is going to be hammer for 4. So we'll block 6 here. I think this is fine. I think we can save our life total here on turn 0 so that we can load cards. And then we'll pitch the drill shot. We'll load the endless arrow. All right. Now, this is an interesting hand. So I like pitching our blue Infecting Shot to come in with Drill Shot, Infecting Shot, then Endless Arrow, Arsenal, the Withering Shot. I think that's probably our best line of play. Activate Lexi. We'll load Drill Shot with Go Again. So we got 2 Go Again. On hit, we get to put a counter on Nick's equipment. Nick gives us Crown. Yeah, blocking with equipment there is a pretty easy block to make, I think. We'll load Infecting Shot. We'll pick Go Again. So we got 5 Go Again here. On hit, Nick gets a Pox token. It's worth noting that we play Perch Grapplers in this matchup because it blocks for 2, not really because of its effect. I mean, there might be a crazy turn where like we have total tempo and like we just get to like throw, like activate Perch Grapplers and like have like a crazy turn. I feel like I would have to have like a 4 arrow hand that just went ham for me to even consider that being my line. And then we'll throw Endless Arrow. Nick knew this was coming, so probably a defense reaction here. Yeah, sink below from Arsenal again. It's like replaying the first game all over again, our first turns right here. Well, Arsenal, our last card. And then, well, we're going to have to give some cards here. So, Crippling Crush for 11. We can block 3, 6, 8. We block with our 2 arrows. We block with the Perch Grapplers. And then we try to set up for a bigger hand here. I think this is fine. I mean, I think that's why you play Perch Grapplers. Like, we just saw an example of why you play Perch Grapplers. Let's get a card out of Nick's hand. Bravo never plays Tunic, so it is kind of convenient that we can just pretty much always take a card from Nick's hand here. We're going to activate Lexi. And then we're just going to arsenal our last card and try to set up for a 6-card hand here. Okay, Nick plays Showtime. Oh boy. Okay. So I think we're going to start with Tunic 3 of a kind here. Yeah, I think that's our play. And we just get to start with a outrageously ridiculous hand here. So let's make sure I'm not having a stroke here. We can go pitch Infecting Shot, and we go Art of War. We go +1 and go again. We have 2 resources floating. We throw the Withering Shot for 6 go again. And then... so from there, we have 1 resource floating. Then we activate Voltaire off Searing Shot, go again. No resources floating. We activate Voltaire for Falcon Wing off Codex +1, and then we get to use Bracers. And then I get to arsenal my last card here. Okay, I mean... buff, and your next attack action card gains go again. Probably the only time I've not drawn cards. Off of, probably the only time I've not drawn cards off of Art of War. And I don't know that this is correct, but I know that we get to throw 4 arrows at Nick here. And we get the most value out of our Art of War. We're making our Art of War like a 1 for 4 here, which is like, I mean, don't get me wrong, 1 for 4 is not great. 1 for 5 is like the rate that you want, but I do think this is where we want to be at. Hey, Ben. What's going on, brother? How are you, man? Guys, if y'all are Lexi connoisseurs and y'all are watching me play and it seems like I'm making some mistakes, bear with me. It's like my first time playing Lexi. So this gives Nick a Frailty token. The one thing that we do have going for us is that Nick probably has to keep those last 2 cards in his hand to be able to like really throw his Pulverize at us. Did you ever wind up getting any Lord of the Rings Magic cards? So I actually did not. I was going to buy a case of that set, but me and Carly are just like, there's like 2 or 3 trips we're taking at the end of the year here, and I just decided to hang on to my money instead of throwing my money away. For that. So we're gonna load Searing Shot with go again. We're gonna throw Searing Shot. This is for 5 go again. 5 on hit, lose a life. Yeah, I really wanted to buy some of that set, if I'm being completely honest with you, but just didn't pan out. It's actually way better for me to pitch the pre-med here and then arsenal my Codex if I'm not going crazy, because yeah, I don't need the extra resource. So let's pitch here. We're going to pick Falcon Wing, and we're going to pick +1. So Falcon Wing's also going to be for 5. And then we're going to use Bullseye Bracers here to load Searing Shot. And then Searing Shot's going to be for 6. So let's see here. Withering Shot for 6. Searing Shot for 6, basically because of the on-hit. Falcon Wing for 5, so that's 12, 17, and then this is for 7. So 17 and 7 is 24. We just had a 24-point turn. I mean, Nick's going to have a chance to, like, throw back at us here because he has his Pulverize. But, yeah, and he drew a blue, too, which means he can dominate it. Yeah, so if we block Heat Seeker, we get to go again, +1, and then Codex. I mean, we are taking 11 and going to 26 here, so we're taking 11, and we have the -4 effect. So we activate Lexi. We're going to pitch Heat Seeker with Go Again. We're going to throw the Heat Seeker for 1. Uncle Cheats. I like that name. That's a fun name. And I'm glad to see that you found the gif of mine and Curly's cat, or the little emote that I have. Or not emote. I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head. Like having a stroke over here. So Nick throws equipment. We're going to go +1 on the Bolt and Shot. So this is going to be for 4 Go Again. We don't have any cards in hand. Plus we have a card in our arsenal, so reload is not relevant here. We also have the Codex staring at Nick, so the more cards he blocks with the earlier, the more cards we're going to get out of his hand, which means he's incentivized not to block here. Uncle Cheats is my cat's name. Oh, dude, that's awesome. That's really cool. I'm curious to know, where did that name come from? Like, what brought that name on for your cat? So we play Codex. I mean, Endless Arrow incentivizes Nick to give us a card and a piece of equipment. Searing Shot does the same thing. I think we're just throwing Searing Shot. I think that's just where I want to be. Searing Shot just is the most damage here. Plus Nick has a Frailty, so if his hand ends up being block here and Tectonic Plating, block with a 3-block and Tectonic Plating, then his hammer will only be for 5. And we're going to have a 5-card hand going into our next turn. Nick picks Spinal Crush. Okay. Which means Nick can block with a card and Tech Plating, save 5 life, and then throw the Spinal Crush at me. Or maybe Nick decides that he wants to just dominate the Spinal Crush if he has that ability. He'd have to have 2 blues and a red. 3 blues would allow him to throw Spinal Crush for... be for 8 dominate, which we could not stop the Crush effect unless we give New Horizons. And there's not a high chance of us giving New Horizons here. Probably just take the off turn. I don't even know if that's a card I want to arsenal. Yeah, let's arsenal it. I don't know. I honestly don't know if that's a correct decision or not, but I think arsenaling that's fine. So watching Dragon Ball Abridged, fiance started calling Vegeta just Jita, which one day a stray showed up and she called him Jita, which in turn became Cheats. Hey man, that's a cool story though. Like, at least there's a fun story behind like your cat's name. My girlfriend's obsessed with Quentin Tarantino. She loves all of his movies, so our cat's name is Taryn, which is funny because everybody always says like Tehran and weird stuff when we go to the vet. So it's going to be for 11. Yeah, Nick makes a search here. That makes sense. So this is for 10, which means we have to give him 2 cards and Tunic if we want to keep our turn. Man. So if we give Bolton Shot, I mean, maybe we're just supposed to give 3 cards here, take 1, set up an arsenal. I think that's fine. I mean, pretty much means we can take whatever Nick decides to do next turn. Hopefully it's not like a Crippling Crush or something backbreaking. That would be like worst case scenario for us. So we'll flip Lexi, and then we'll just arsenal here and try to set up for a decent turn. This is Chief called, this ain't it. This is a really awkward hand. Probably going to be blocking with this hand. Or they hear Karen. Yeah, they call her Karen a lot too. That's a pretty common thing that we get. It is really funny to see the look on people's faces when we take her to the vet though, and they like look at, I can like see them. I'm sitting in the lobby and I can see them reading the chart thinking, what is this? Like, what have you all done to your cat? Oh, man. All right, so what kind of cat? A nice one? I'm gonna be honest. I grew up with dogs in my house as a kid, and so like I don't know a lot about cats. Karen's really like my first cat like I've ever had, and like me and her are best friends. Is she a calico? Is that what they're? Is she a calico, Carly? Is that what they're called? Honestly, I don't know. So this feels really bad. Command and Conquer Pummel is just going to leave us in a tough spot. So I think we're forced to block. I'm going to be honest. I don't really know what we're supposed to block here that's going to work out this. Calico short hair. There you go. I mean, maybe I'm supposed to give you 2 cards in Tunic. Or maybe I'm just supposed to block 7. I don't know. Like playing around blue pummel does not feel great. Yeah, this feels bad. Have we seen a red pummel? No, but we have seen a blue one. Oh, man. This is bad. I feel like we either have to play around blue pummel or play around nothing. Like, we either have to just... There's not even 2/3 blocks in my hand. This is, like, inherently bad. I don't want to give Tunic for you to just have red pummel. I mean, that's just... We had 2/3 blocks in our hand. I just do that. The odds of them having pummel is high? Oh, yeah, it's extremely high. I mean, to be fair, Nick could not have it. It could just be one of those hands. I mean, he had all the tempo, and I did nothing last turn, so it could just be that he doesn't have it, and this could just be the best thing that he could do. I guess, oh man. Let's play around blue pummel and hope a little bit. All right, so kind of looks like Nick just didn't have it there. This is really bad because my hand virtually does nothing. Man, not really. Like, my hand doesn't virtually do nothing, but it virtually does nothing. I guess I could just throw this and just keep this in arsenal and try to have a big turn next turn. Because, I mean, this is going to be a 0 for 2. Yeah. Yeah, let's just throw this, I guess. This feels really awkward. I mean, maybe I'm supposed to not play around Blue Pummel there. Maybe I'm supposed to just... It costs 1 because of Frostlock's ability.
Oh, yeah.
Like, maybe I'm just supposed to block with Codex, our arrow that blocks 3 and Tunic, and then if he leaves us our hand, we get to go Premeditate into this, which is for 6, and we can activate Lexi to flip this face up, which means if we get a Ponder token, we still get to have... Yeah, I don't know. So Nick just takes 3 and we're going to pass here. So right now this hand is looking like block 5. Block Death Touch, Falcon Wing, and then play our 3 Oak. It doesn't feel super promising, but I mean, we don't have many other options. Okay, so make a surge. And then Nick plays Debilitate. So now this feels like block 3, and we're going to set up an arsenal this. We can't play the Lightning Press if we play our 3 of a kind here, so we're just going to pitch. This is not what I would call a good hand. Well. So let's activate Lexi. Yeah, there's like no way for me to make the most out of this. Let's pick Go again. Actually, let's undo this. I found a better line here. So we activate Lexi, flip up Rain Razors. Let's activate Quiver here. So we find Infecting Shot. So we're going to go Rain Razors. Our Rain Razor is only going to be a 0 for 4 here, but I think it just kind of is what it is at this point. We're going to come in for 6 here. And then the Infecting Shot's going to be for 7. Now, this is a pretty awkwardly set up pitch stack hand here, but that's what? How many Rain Razors is that we've seen, that we've actually played? I think we pitched one earlier. We've seen our Artivore, our one of Artivore. And so there's another Rain Razors left, and we just pitched a 3 of a kind. So yeah, that's so that the 3 of a kind we just pitched is our last 3 of a kind. So Nick takes 3 here. And then this is for 7. Nick's just probably going to give us 2 cards and a Tectonic Plating. If I had to guess, he might have red unmovables in his deck. I'm not sure how Nick has his Bravo set up into Lexi here. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Nick makes a. I think that's a pretty good block. I think that's how we want to set that up. I'm honestly not 100% on that. If Nick swings the hammer here for 6, we will definitely just be taking 6. Because we have a pretty good setup hand here. So let's activate Voltaire. We're going to load a... We're going to load Sleep Dart. We're going to pick Go again. We're going to throw Sleep Dart for 5 here. If this hits, we get to turn off the Bravo ability, which is a pretty good thing to have. Bravo being turned off stops Nick from like being able to dominate a Crippling Crush and like taking away our entire turn, basically. Nick takes 2, and then we're going to activate Voltaire. Put a Searing Shot in for +1. So this is for 3 on hit, lose a life. Nick gives us a Crippling Crush. And then we'll just arsenal our last card here, set up a little bit. So if we block 3, yeah, so we block 3, take 3 here, which I think is fine. And then we kind of get to play a little bit of chicken. Kind of force Nick's hand and see what he has here, what he has access to. So we'll activate Lexi. We'll play Winter's Bite. Nick gives us a blue, so we will throw our Remorseless for 5. Which is basically guaranteed to get a card out of Nick's hand, maybe more. Nick does not take any damage off of activating Plating or Hammering here, so if he wanted to take 2 and go to 3, he could still swing 6. But going to 3 is dangerous, because Nick knows that we have a 3 of a kind and a Rain Razors left in our deck, and we have at least 1 Codex left, I think. Or am I crazy? Yeah, we pitch stacked 1 Codex earlier. So I'm just going to arsenal my last card here. Nick's going to swing for 4. I'm going to look at my hand. I think I'm just going to take 4 here. And we're just going to throw 10 back at Nick. And then we're just going to leave our power card in our arsenal here. So we're going to activate Lexi. Premeditate. Lace with Bloodrot. We're going to pitch Arctic Incarceration. Load the Drill Shot. Pick +1. And then, I'm sorry, it's 11. I can't count. Math be hard. The +1 on Voltaire. And then we have our Rain Razors just kind of staring at Nick. So if he doesn't block enough, we can Rain Razors and win. And if he does block enough, then we can hang on to our Rain Razors and try to make it a 0 for 6. No reason to play our Rain Razors here. Nick is currently taking 8. So this pumps it up to 8. Okay. So Nick had the Sink and the Unmovable, so we'll just hang on to our Rain Razors here. We'll just pass. Hell yeah, it's GG. I mean, yeah, it definitely looks that way. When we're getting every card out of Nick's hand, we're definitely on our way to winning the game. There's 2 Rain Razors left in my deck? Guess I'd only played 1 of them. I thought I'd play 2. Having a stroke. So we are going to pitch this one. We're going to have to pitch 2 of our cards here this turn. And we're going to load Bolt Shot with +1. So this is going to be for 4. We don't have to pitch 2 of our cards this turn. I can also just set up a pretty decent turn. Now let's load the Sleep Dart here. I think this is fine. Probably better to take a 6-card hand. You're probably seeing the difference between a medium Lexi player and a good Lexi player. So yeah, Nick blocks 6 there. So this is going to be pretty sweet. We're going to pitch this to load. Right? Actually, am I able to pitch this because we need 1 and 1? Yeah, okay, so we can actually pitch our yellow Infecting Shot here to keep it in our deck, which is pretty sweet. And we're going to pick Endless Arrow with Go Again. And we're going to come in for 4 Go Again. And then we're going to Voltaire for +1. And then we're going to come in for 4 here with our Infecting Shot. Again, just kind of threatening our 6 points here. So Nick's taking 1 currently. I'm honestly okay with him going to 4 here. So Nick throws Hammer for 4. That's fine. We're just going to go to 5. And then Nick's going to go to 2. Off the Pox token. So let's go pre-med. Gonna pitch this to activate Voltaire. We're gonna load Endless Arrow. And we're gonna pick go again. So this is gonna be for 7. And if Nick only blocked 6 here, I was like, we get our Endless Arrow back, which is kind of sweet. But if Nick blocks like this, then we just get to arsenal our last card, and we get to have a 6-card hand. And Nick's last card's a pummel, so it can't even threaten hammer here. What's funny is in hindsight, if he used the Rain Razors, he couldn't have swung, or he would have died to Bloodrot. That is true. Actually, yeah, that's very true. Playing the Rain Razors there would have won me the game. Well, it wouldn't have won me the game, but it would have put him off a swinging hammer. So yeah, it's definitely something that we could have done. So let's go Lexi. Let's go Rain Razors. So 1, 2, 3, nothing. Okay, so we can play the Premeditate here, and then we're gonna pitch our Frostlock. We're gonna load the Drill Shot with go again here. So it's gonna be for 9. We're almost assuredly gonna kill Nick this turn. Our Rain Razors and Premeditate's just gonna be too much. Just gonna put us over the top here. Nick takes 1. Yeah, we'll put a 4th counter on the tectonic plating, I guess. So +1. And then we're going to come in for 6 here. The Withering Shot technically would have been for 7, so it would have been 1 more point, but I think we had it locked up either way there. So very early on in the game, I had an Art of War 3 of a kind turn that allowed me to play 4 arrows and use my bullseye bracers. We put Nick to 22 after he had blocked like 6, I think. He had blocked like a pretty hefty amount, like it was 6 or 8, I think, and then we had still put him down to 22. I got a really big advantage early on in that game, and I think that allowed me to take my turns when they came and then block favorably. Also saw the value of Perch Grapplers blocking that game. Perch Grapplers is great into these Guardian matchups. It just gives you the ability to block these crush effects that are so relevant. But, I mean, Lexi just feels too strong, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm pretty sure we pitched a Codex. Like, we might have pitched a couple of them. I don't even think we, like, played all of our power cards that game, and we were still able to close it out. Now, we did get up. I think we were up, like, 5. Nick was at 5, and we were, like, at 15 or 17 or something. And then Nick was able to make the game a little bit closer there at the end of the game and really, like, block and hang on for as long as he could and throw hammer when he could. But Lexi's just too powerful. And we were just able to close the game out there at the end of the game. I'm pretty sure we still had another, like, we had a better line I could have taken on the last turn of the game, and we were still able to cross the finish line. So I think this game really highlights the power of Lexi and just kind of like how bonkers she really is. So if you're thinking about getting into Lexi, here's your sign to get into Lexi and buy the cards for it. She's pretty sweet. But anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. If y'all like the video, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, guys.